Hi everyone, welcome back. I apologise for not having posted in a while. This is due to my Wi-Fi deteriorating to the point of it being almost useless, with game footage being recorded in the rare moments where it is alive. However, my Wi-Fi is another story. Anyway, today I'll be talking about why I love Nuclear Option, a new, currently free-to-play air combat sim that is available on Steam. Although it is still in playtesting, it already has a very promising future ahead of it, as well as good servers and no money-hungry developers like you find in other games. Gaijin. There are many other reasons that I'll go on to about why I love this game. Nuclear Option is a combat flight sim centered around a war between two factions on a large island in the middle of a sea somewhere. Although entirely fictional, the aircraft and ground units bear some resemblance to some modern aircraft and ground vehicles, as well as using modern conventional and some nuclear weapons. The game boasts a highly detailed damage model, as well as highly detailed terrain and general graphics, with the aircraft interiors being simple, but still being able to display all you need for combat and general flight operations. For only 1GB as of August 2023, the game is also host to a great physics model, as opposed to your average PTFS Lego brick game physics model, which comes in handy during maneuvers and when flying in general. Although the game is still in playtest, it already shows how caring the developers are about the game. Small patches and updates being applied frequently allow for any small issues and bugs to be easily targeted and fixed, with the main screen of the game allowing you easy access to the Discord server and forums, which allow you to be part of the testing and report those bugs and glitches yourself, as well as being able to talk to other players. There are currently 4 different aircraft available in the game, soon to be 5 with the addition of an attack helicopter. First of all, let's start with the Cricket, the most basic of all the aircraft. It can be used by any player at any time of the match, provided that your base is still alive. The Cricket's description waffles on about it being a light attack aircraft for insurgency ops and so on, but in my opinion, the Cricket is the aircraft used to gain access to the compass. The Cricket can carry a good amount of ordnance, however isn't as much as the compass. The Cricket is not great for air-to-air combat either, as its speed and agility is like wearing a fursuit into a hunting ground at peak hunting season. Therefore, it's not a great choice if you want to go up against other aircraft. As well as its reduced speed and capabilities, and reduced amount of flares, the Cricket is unfortunately prone to SAM missiles, with it only being able to defend against infrared missiles or IR missiles, which is a shame, as if you get fired upon by a SAR-H, which is a radar-guided missile, you're basically screwed unless you pull some Top Gun level extravaganzas. However, even though it does have flares, it seldom tricks missiles, ending with your tiny paper plane folding like a cardboard box and coming down to earth. And each time this happens, I can only imagine the Lego brick smashing sound effect every time this happens. Rest in pieces. Let's move on to the Compass, a light attack and fighter aircraft with a plethora of ordnance options, which allows you to boast one hell of a missile setup. The Compass is decently fast, and thus it can absolutely shred with a good pilot. Although it's a good attack aircraft, do not prioritise using it as a solid fighter, as its manoeuvrability is adequate for fighting Crickets and Compasses, and maybe dodging a SAM or two. But don't get cocky, otherwise you can very quickly find yourself falling from the sky faster than Grandma falls down the stairs in more pieces than the new Lego Concorde. But overall, if you want an aircraft that can be deployed quickly to the battlefield with a large payload, the Compass is a good option. The Revoker is a super manoeuvrable multi-role fighter, best for gaining swift and total air superiority, capable of supersonic cruising at speeds of up to Mach 1.3. While this aircraft, my personal favourite, does not have much in terms of its air-to-ground combat capabilities, it's still fun to do bombing runs from high altitude with a payload of 4 500kg bombs with your friends. Think of it as a compass that can surround and destroy other aircraft faster than anything. It can host up to 10 air-to-air missiles, allowing you to really ruin someone's day by spamming the missiles, like Twitter users spamming #cancel after I say that I enjoy pineapple on pizza.
Oh my god, dog.
Back to it. To conclude, the Revoker is my personal favourite due to its speed and its incredible manoeuvrability with the pitch stabiliser off at lower speeds. Just be careful not to flat spin. Of course, we can't conclude the aircraft introductions without including the Dark Reach Bomber, so here we are. The Dark Reach Bomber is the only current bomber in the game, and it is certainly one hell of a bomber, hosting 4 large internal weapon bays, allowing for an impressive payload capacity and a destructive capability. It can carry both conventional weapons and also 20 kiloton nuclear cruise missiles. Although those cruise missiles are kinda OP and can make a multiplayer game suck if you keep ending up on the receiving end of them, there are 2 things to mention here. Firstly, Your weapons, especially your cruise missiles, can be shot down by certain anti-air and SPAAG ground vehicles, as well as other players if you're using cruise missiles. So it's best to be tactical and think ahead when deploying these weapons, otherwise you can find yourself in the embarrassing situation of having just flown for 10 minutes only to see your precious missiles or bombs get swatted out the sky. Now for your imminent demise as you watch 30 plus Sams beeline for your elephant plane. This leads me on to point 2. You are a very large and unmanoeuvrable aircraft, and although you have both flares and a radar jammer, these are a finite resource which tend to run out very quickly as if you find yourself flying over an enemy airfield or airbase, so you can either watch as fish jump in an arc over your aircraft as you skim the waves, or watch as you dock with Sputnik up in space as you look down on the map and drop your stuff. So that's the aircraft portion of the video done. Let's move on to game modes and gameplay. Let's start with missions. Missions are rather self-explanatory, but if you seriously can't make out the context of the mission by the title, all you have to do is follow the instructions in the description. And to make it even simpler for some of you, just kill the guys in red. They're enemies. The game mode Total War is a little more than meets the eye, however that is for another video, as if you want to win instead of just kill stuff, there are certain tactics and certain objectives that should be followed and completed before the enemy team does, so that you can secure yourself a victory. The game boasts a number of different ground units that you will face throughout your flying experience, most of them sporting some anti-air capabilities, ranging from 50 cal top-mounted machine guns all the way down to fully blown surface-to-air missiles, some of which can really be a thorn in the side if not dealt with early on in the game. The lightest yet most important vehicle series is the HLT truck series, coming in 3 flavours, carrying munitions to rearm your aircraft, a fuel tanker to refill your aircraft with speed juice, and the radar variant, which is, you guessed it, a radar. HLT trucks are a vital asset to your team, and also to your enemies, as they are crucial for rearming and refueling after each sortie. If shot out or destroyed, the receiving airfield will no longer be able to replenish their landing aircraft, which can pose an issue if you intend on keeping your aircraft.
Then there are the APCs, which are pretty self-explanatory. They can, like the HLT trucks, be destroyed fairly easily. However, they do host top-mounted machine guns, so don't get too close. Then you have tanks and MPTs, which are slightly harder to destroy, sometimes requiring a few AGM-48s to actually destroy them. They also sport machine guns, which are insanely accurate sometimes. Finally, we have anti-air vehicles. Some are short range, however, some like the Bolt Strike can fire radar guided missile at you from up to 15 kilometers away. So it's best to deal with those as a priority, saving you the awkward explanation to your friends of why 4 of you just fireballed randomly. These anti-air vehicles are also capable of intercepting and destroying bombs and missiles. Although bombs are usually harder to intercept, so overall, these are the ground units that you will face and hopefully destroy many times throughout your experience. So buckle up, put on a game face and watch as you get bulldozed from the runway by an AI taking off.
Thank you, Skull. So that pretty much concludes the basics of nuclear option. So if you believe that revokers are God's gift to air superiority, press the like button, and if you want me to upload more than once in a century, maybe consider subscribing. But that's all from me and from Skull, so thank you. Fly hard, crash harder. See you later.